Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Safe Space podcast by iSafe Global, a space where we have conversations that challenges our thinking, empower us, and enlighten us to make safer choices, as well as have conversations in relation to special days recognized by the UN. And then speak about most of these things that we don't know about. My name is Ibukonlua Adio, and I'm your host, as always. And today with me, I have two colleagues joining me today. But before they introduce themselves, this year, every year actually, on August 19, the world observes the World Humanitarian Day, which is a day dedicated to recognizing humanitarian workers who are at the first point of crisis. And this year, the conversation is centered around strengthening global solidarity and empowering local communities. And at first, I mean, it sounds very broad, but we want to bring it closer to home so that it is much easier for us to understand and relate with. That is why I have, again, two of my colleagues who are humanitarians, and I want them to introduce themselves.
Hello, my name is Patricia Njoko and I'll be joining the conversation today.
Thank you very much. And then we also have.
My name is Blessing Mustafa, and I'm joining the conversation today also.
Yes, thank you so much. And I hope we learn a lot, right? So, because I mean, for us, global solidarity actually starts from how we respond to people and communities around us. So, it's we understanding that, communities need to understand their own challenges best, right? So that they would know how to be able to find a voice and come together to create a solution for those challenges. And then at iSafe here, most of the work we do relates with engaging communities, solving their problems, working with young people, and all of that, and also building capacities for these young people to be able to become confident in addressing issues that affect them. So, in this conversation, we want to move beyond defining the theme, right? We want to ask, what does it actually look like in our communities? Like, what does solidarity look like in our communities? What can we do differently? And how can we empower people locally and contribute to a more supportive and connected world? So, my first question is, from your experience working with communities, what have you learned about what people actually need to become empowered?
Thank you so much for, of course, having me. And then this is a very important conversation that we need to really have. And having it on this beautiful day to, of course, commemorate this day is also a very important and key one. Yes, and answer your question about how we can empower or how people can.
Yes, like how people, yes, feel empowered. Yes. What people actually need to feel empowered or to become empowered.
All right, so we are just used to when we hear empowerment, sometimes we just focus our mind or attention on a particular area, for a layman or for a common person out there. So when they hear empowerment, just come to okay, give me money, give me skills,
Yeah.
give me this, give me that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes they forget the most important aspects of actually being empowered, right? So it goes beyond just the physical things or items or maybe support that you receive to the knowledge that you actually need to those important information that you actually need to understanding what is actually happening in your community and also contributing towards making a lasting impact as opposed to just standing on the receiving end and maybe expecting to get support at all times. You're grappling with your right, your left, and every part of your body. And then at the end of the day, you continue to recycle that way. So now it means you as an individual in the community taking that sense of responsibility to also give back to your community, right? Whatever support you may have received, or the knowledge you may have as an individual, making impact in your community is very critical to also ripple the effects of whatever knowledge you may have. You're not to keep it to yourself. Because if the community is okay, if the community is fine, you too living in the community,
You're okay.
you're also okay. So it's feeling that sense of responsibility. You know, I owe my community this.
Yes.
You know, irrespective of the level you are. So my mentor will always tell me, no one is so poor not to have anything to give. You understand? So when we say I don't have, or you tell someone you can do this, you can. So they always look at it from the aspect of I don't get money. You know, the clone Nigerian mindset. I don't have fund to do X, Y, Z. Whereas there are other ways you can actually make an impact in the community.
Yeah, so basically we're saying is a multiplier effect.
Yes.
I impact you, you impact like 100 people.
Exactly.
Okay, so like Blessing, I need you to join in us in this conversation, because now that she has established the fact that um the knowledge of empowerment is not just for you to keep receiving, right? It's for you to get and then give back. So why do you actually think that communities need to like be a part of the problems that they are facing? So like, sometimes when we see a problem in a community, we just want to go in and help them, right? And then Miss Esther has already enlightened us that when we help somebody in empowerment is not just about receiving, right? It's about what are the numerous things you can do with this, the things you've been empowered with. And I support it by saying it's like a multiplier effect, right? So why do you actually even think that is necessary for this process, right? So this entire multiplier process. And why do you think that it's also very important for people that are empowered to be a part, right, of creating solutions, further solutions for their community, right, to the problems that they face, rather than just receiving help?
Communities are the end users. They are like the end users. They know the problems they face way more than we that are coming to empower them. So, just like the multiplier effect you said, they are direct beneficiaries, and there's also something we call indirect beneficiaries. You train them, then they also train their families, their friends, their sisters, brothers, just like that. So, they are the end users. They are the ones that we empower first, then they spread it across other people.
Okay, so Miss Esther, do you have anything to say to that?
Well, she has actually spoken so well. I would just say that just like Blessing said, you they understand what their needs are more
Yes.
than you come. So even we as I say going to communities, I would say we're just like is a third party or something. You understand? But then another thing to say that person where we should know where
When they pay them, yes.
so, because even if you're there to express themselves or tell you their problems, sometimes they may not even tell you everything that they are facing. You know, they can maybe hide some, but still that will not solve the problem. But if they have been empowered, maybe the knowledge, maybe the right information, it will also help them to even solve the problems that they may not even want to share.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So the basic information you have past is not just about, of course, like I said, empowerment is not just about giving money, giving maybe practical skills, technical, professional skills, like a common Nigerian always think, it could just be information
Yeah.
that they need. Sometimes even some persons may not even need, even if it's economic empowerment, some persons may not even need economic empowerment at the time. What they may even need is just knowledge,
Just knowledge.
just information.
Information,
And then
yes.
with that information, they can get money from it. They can even produce a lot of
Produce a lot of
and then
things, yes.
support members of
Of their own
community.
community, yes.
Yes.
Exactly. So I'm going to even bring that back to iSafe work, right? Because if we're explaining this, we need to actually even give people that, oh yes, we've actually seen where we at iSafe went to a community and then we shared information and then we see what somebody has done with this information to empower other people. That is like bringing it's again the multiplier effect into theory, like explaining. So, do you want to share with us if you've actually had that experience with somebody, or you went to a community, you empowered them, and then months later, years later, you're hearing them or you're seeing what they've done with this information.
Well, where do I even start from? Because there are a lot of them.
A lot of them, yes.
So for us at ISAVE, there are a lot of support we give out to communities, right? Ranging from the information, safety skills, economic empowerment, and then whole lot. And for so many times, of course, we've had success stories from our direct beneficiaries about what they have actually done, about the impact they have also made in their communities using the skills they receive or the support they receive from us, right? And these are, of course, the things that keeps us going in because we cannot solve the problem of the
Entire country.
we are not even talking of country, community
Community, yes.
alone.
Yes.
We as organization alone, I see, cannot solve the entire problem of our community. That's why we have people who like say ambassadors, that have received some of the support from us and they go back to their community. So I'll give instance of our martial arts training where we do self-defense skills training. We've trained a lot of persons and then we hear success stories months later, years later of how they were able to escape some situations, some conditions, some vulnerable situations or abuses or something using information and skills they received. I would also hear stories about how they also trained,
Other people.
it could even be a small group,
A small group, yes.
siblings, it could even be just their classmates. So it doesn't even have to be very large. It can even be one person. So if you have received any support from ISAID, I am telling you for free, it may not be the entire beneficiaries that have done this, but I am telling you that a lot of them have continued giving back to their society. Also, an instance is on the project, like the home project we did sometime last year that was done in Ogun State. Even till today, I continue to hear stories. One of the beneficiaries went for a program where she trained. That she was invited to one church. They want to empower their youth in the church. So that church did not come to ISAVE, knowing that it was ISAVE that trained them. But they went to those beneficiaries, and these are the things that we really love to see. Because ISAVE is in Lagos and this person is in Abeokuta. And then when the church contacted, she was able to go deliver the session and also empower other people. And that is how it spread. So those people that have even been empowered in that church, they
Empower, yes,
empower
other people.
The world will become
A better place. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for that. Because I actually like that she gave that example, right? Because I know when people hear that, oh, I can do this and I can do that with information that I have, they would want to start it. But then again, a lot of people when they hear the word humanitarian, they believe is it has to be people that have the money,
exactly.
or people like us at iSave that we are the community,
Yeah.
right? So blessing, I want to ask for somebody listening to our conversation right now and wants to make a difference in their community, but they feel like, oh, they don't have a lot of money or resources. Where can they start?
Just like Miss Patricia said, it's beyond funding, it's beyond money, it's beyond resources. You can just meet someone today and have a conversation with them, and the knowledge alone is something. The awareness alone is something. So
Yeah.
just the talk you have with your own brother, you're already raising an awareness.
Mhm.
You're already talking to them about something. You're already empowering them. In fact, so it goes beyond funding. It goes beyond using this amount to do a project, do this, do that. No, by awareness alone, by talking to them, you're already making change and you're already doing something in your community.
So can you give us a scenario where a very, very small awareness session led to great impact? Right. So this is just a very small information session. It's a very small awareness session done by maybe somebody that you've seen um as part of your work at iSafe. And then you saw that this small information led to such great impact, or it led to great change. Can you share that with us?
Okay. I would go back to our International Women's Day we had in March. During that session, while we were advising the women and talking to the women, then a woman raised up her hand to ask a question. She had a case of domestic violence and she didn't know how to go about it. So when the lady from TSB was talking, she raised her hand, she asked the question, and that information alone, she had that insight. She was able to understand that, oh, okay, I have this information, I'll go back home, I'll tell them, okay, this is what you're going to do. You can make a call to this person and do this and do that. So yeah.
Okay, so yes, that's actually beautiful, which means that it really doesn't you don't need to have millions in your account. You can just it could even be a short video that you do, because I mean we are in the world of information where information goes as far as anything, like it goes faster than, should I even say, a bullet, because one post on social media it can go, so you can raise an awareness, and then before you know it, different people are benefiting from it, right? So we want to know, for anybody who is listening, for everyone listening to the podcast today, right? And they've decided that they've learned and they want to do something to strengthen their local community. Where do you think they can start from? So I'm going to hear from you. I'm going to hear from you. What is that one thing they need to do first? Just that push.
Okay, I think the first thing you should do, determine the problem first. Know what the community needs. Know what the community wants. When you determine the problem, there you can provide a solution or prefer a solution to the problem. But first and foremost, determine the problem that the community needs or wants.
Okay, because I mean, there's a problem in every community. There's even if you every community has like close to 100 problems. Who is going to start it? So
So, what I would say is, let's not wait for help from outside. Let's not relax as a community and wait for maybe an international organization, a UN, or one I save, to come in and help us, right? Start within yourself, start solving your problem
within yourself,
It
yes.
must not involve money, to start solving those problems. Solve your problem, because at the end of the day, you are accountable for yourself. Like, you're responsible for your own action. If your community is spoiled, now you will.
Yeah.
So I know that even if a community goes, but sometimes it can have an effect generally. But then let's not even allow it to escalate or get to that point. Once you have identified this problem within yourself as community, try to find a way. If it involves money, when somebody you try to explain to people, and maybe some persons are willing to support or provide, it may not even be cash support, it may even be in kind support, it may even be providing advice, counsel, you have a lot of people, resource people in different communities. So don't wait for one messiah, from outside. Let's start
Solving it.
our problems internally,
Mhm.
so that even if people want to help us, they would have seen what we have done for ourselves,
Yes.
and then know where to take it.
So, yes, I'm really grateful that we had this conversation. Thank you so much, Miss Esther or Miss Patricia, anyone. And then also blessing. They are my fellow colleagues in humanitarian services. We are really grateful, and then we are standing together to support the World Humanitarian Day today. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode. See you in the next one.